I took the Army's new Army Combat Fitness Test for the first time yesterday, and I know a lot of people have questions like, what is it? What are the events? How hard is it? How did I do? And the biggest, most important question, why do we have a new test? Today, I'm going to talk about the APFT, its events, the reason we have it, how well I did, and what I'm going to do to improve my score in the future. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Team Willbob. I'm Staff Sergeant Robert Williams, a recruiter for the Washington Army National Guard. Do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you can get all my videos in the future. The old Army Physical Fitness Test, which was the push-ups, sit-ups, and 2-mile run, is being replaced by the 6-event Army Combat Fitness Test. This new fitness test will do a better job of measuring your overall fitness as an individual, and it is based upon actual physical movements that you may do in combat. Now, it is not currently official for every member of the Army yet. That will happen in April of 2022, but you do have to pass it for basic training and your advanced individual training if you are a new soldier. The 6 events are the 3-repetition maximum deadlift, the standing power throw, the hand release push-up, the sprint drag carry, the leg tuck or plank, and the 2-mile run. Now, let's go over each event briefly so you can see what they actually are. The first event is the 3-repetition maximum deadlift. This is a deadlift that uses a hex bar, and the minimum amount of weight to get a 60-point score is 140 pounds. The maximum weight for 100 points is 340 pounds. For this one, you stand in the middle, get a good grip on that bar, and lift with your legs. Make sure you're actually using good form so that you do not injure yourself. The movements that are simulated by this exercise are obviously lifting heavy loads, but also jumping, bounding, and landing properly. You get 2 tries to do your 3 repetitions at whatever weight you want. If you accomplish this for one weight, you can then move higher and try a higher weight for a better score. This is always a good idea. But at the same time, if you don't get all 3 repetitions at a higher weight, you can move down to ensure that you do pass the event. I started out with the minimum weight because I really didn't have a feel for the event yet, and I'm not a weightlifter, and I easily was able to do that. So then I moved up to 260 pounds, which was what the guy previous to me had done on the bar, and that was 82 points. So I was happy with that for my second attempt. The second event is called the standing power throw. This is where you hold a 10-pound ball and throw it back up over your head as far as you can. The minimum distance is 4.5 meters, and the maximum distance for 100 points is 12.5 meters. This is an analog to throwing soldiers up over a wall and other quick movements. Just like the deadlift, you get 2 tries for this event, and whichever is further, you get to keep. You also get to practice right before the event to get your form down. And that's the purpose of the practice, is to make sure you have proper technique. I was a little displeased with myself because my throws during practice were actually farther, but I'm learning, so is everybody else. Throwing the ball has less to do with your actual physical strength and more to do with your technique. Yes, you do need to have the strength to be able to do it, but you really have to have good technique to get to fly farther. The third event is the hand release push-up. This is a very specific push-up method. The minimum number of push-ups to pass is 10, and the maximum is 60 for 100 points. This event is to test your upper body endurance and simulate repetitive and sustained pushing. You have your hands shoulder width apart, your index finger is just inside the outer edge of your shoulder, and you actually take your hands off the ground and lie there while you extend your arms straight out. One thing of interest to note is that you actually start while you're lying on the ground, not in the upper plank like you did with the previous push-up. I was really surprised with how I did on this event because normally I would max out the push-ups every time I did a PT test. But for this one, I only got 67 points. And that means that I'm going to need to adjust how I do my workouts. I normally do like circuit workouts 3 days a week, and I'm gonna have to adjust what kinds of push-ups. I'm not gonna be doing diamond push-ups or wide arm push-ups anymore. I'm really gonna be focusing on this specific motion. One really big thing to also note is that the difference between 60 points and 70 points is actually 20 push-ups, and above 70 points, you get 1 more point for every push-up. The fourth event is the sprint drag carry, and oh boy, is this a complicated exercise. The name is a little misleading, as it is really the sprint, drag, lateral, carry, sprint again event. To get the maximum 100 points, you have to do it faster than 1 minute and 33 seconds. But the minimum score of 60 allows you 3 minutes to do the test. The sprint drag carry is for bounding, moving casualties under fire, carrying ammunition, etc. This is the exercise that smoked me more than any of the others. I thought I was not doing well until I crossed the finish line, and they told me I got a 149. So I actually got a really good score, and I was quite pleased with that. Now, the dragging portion really is what gets to be difficult, because pulling 90 pounds just on a little sled gets very taxing very quickly. However, for me, carrying the 2 40-pound kettlebells wasn't that hard, because I have 2 not so small children who weigh at least 90 pounds between the 2 of them, and I carry them around all the time. So that was definitely good training for me. Of note, this event also starts from lying on your stomach, called the prone position. The fifth event is the leg tuck or plank. This is the one that has the most wildly varying scores across the force. The leg tuck is part pull-up, part leg raise. You hang from a bar by your hands and bring your knees up to your elbows. The minimum score is 1 and the maximum score is 20. If you're unable to do one of those, you can do the plank. This is the low plank where your elbows are bent and on the ground. The minimum time for the plank is 2 minutes and 9 seconds, and the maximum time for 100 points is 4 minutes and 20 seconds. These exercises are to showcase your arms, shoulders, and trunk, which are incredibly important to your overall health. Specifically, it simulates surmounting obstacles and walls, and rope climbing, descending, and traversing. I chose the leg tuck because the plank is way harder than it actually sounds. The first several that I did were really easy, and then when I got to the limit of how many I could do, it was a sudden stop. All of a sudden, one was difficult, and then the next one was almost impossible, and then I was done. It was a very unexpected way to end the event. The last event is the 2-mile run. And this is the only event that's truly held over from the previous test. To achieve the minimum score of 60, you have 21 minutes to complete this 2-mile run. If you want to get the 100 points, you have to do it in less than 13 minutes and 30 seconds. The run is to test your cardio and your endurance. No matter what branch you are in, there will always be a run portion of your fitness test. This goes along with ruck marches, dismounted patrols, infiltration, etc., anything to do with literally just running or walking. I've never been a fast runner, but even after all of the other events, cough, cough, sprint, drag, carry, the run was not as taxing as I had expected. I actually was able to run the pace that I normally do when I'm out just running by myself. In the previous PT test, you could do an alternate event on any of the 3 or all of the 3, if necessary, events if you are on a permanent physical profile. The APFT does not allow for this. Only the run can have an alternate event. If you qualify for this, the alternate events are the stationary bike, the row, or the swim. It was actually a fun test to take. I will be adjusting my workout so that I maximize each event. Unlike the previous test where people would train just for those 3 events, training for this test will actually make you healthier all around, so you're not just doing those specific exercises and lacking in other areas. You will get healthier all around, and I think it's going to be a great program. You must get 60 points on every event. Now, this gives you a total score of 360, But for you math guys out there like me, just getting a 360 doesn't mean you actually pass. The standard is 60 in each event. Now, you can get 100 in each event, but it's really hard to get 100 in all 6 events. Out of about 1 million people in the Army, only a few have actually been able to do this. I know this number will increase in the future, but it's still going to be a very small group. This test is easier to pass, but definitely harder to actually get the maximum. As for me, I got a 455 out of 600. I'm not terribly pleased with that, but it's enabled me to identify my current weaknesses, and I will be adjusting, as I said, my workout to be a healthier soldier. And I'm actually quite happy with that as a result. I am confident that within the next month or two, I will be up in the 500s, and I will be letting you guys know how that works out. Thank you for watching Team Willbob and learning about the Army Combat Fitness Test and my experience in taking it for the first time. If you've not already done so, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so you can get my future videos. If you want to get in contact with me, you can throw a message in the comments, send me a text through a phone or WhatsApp, or you can contact me through Facebook or Instagram. Thanks for tuning in and have a great 4th of July!